On November 3rd, Duquesne tipped off the 2025-2026 season with an 89-60 win over St. Francis University. Since then, they've gone 11-17 overall and 4-13 in conference play. George Mason kicked off their season on November 3rd as well, but fell to Temple University in overtime. Since that point, the Patriots are 20-8 overall and 15-2 in the A-10. After a long season, two very different stories were set to collide in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania at the UPMC Cooper Fieldhouse for one final game of the regular season. One of the nation's best three-point shooters, Alexis Bordas, and the Duquesne Dukes faced off with a dominant George Mason Patriot team. Despite early success, it was all George Mason in this one, as they would go on to win 65-48. Zariah Walchin had 16 to lead the Patriots, while Kennedy Harris and Jada Brown contributed double digits as well. The story of the game was George Mason's defense. They forced 20 turnovers and 13 steals. For Duquesne, they will now turn their attention to preparing for the Atlantic 10 tournament and their opening round matchup with VCU, who they defeated just a few games ago. After the game, I got the chance to talk with Coach Dan Burt. What's preparation going to look like for you guys heading into the A-10 tournament?
We're going to be who we are, and we're going to be optimistic and determined. We are going to play at noon against VCU, is what I've been told. And we'll start our preparation for that tomorrow. We're fresh physically. I think a day off will be good for us mentally. I believe that locker room thinks that they can win. And I think there's a lot of people in the Atlantic 10 that don't really want to see us play. As a head coach, I have to prepare for the entire week. Our staff and our players will prepare for that very first game against VCU, and that'll start with Monday when we get on the floor at 9 a.m.
Final from the UPMC Cooper Fieldhouse, George Mason defeats Duquesne in the last regular season game of the season for the Atlantic 10 women's basketball schedule. With the win, George Mason claims the outright A-10 regular season championship. At A-10 Media Day prior to the season, their head coach, that was one of the talking points for them. They have a very veteran team. Duquesne, on the other hand, a very young team, and you could see it in the way that this game played out. Duquesne got out to an 8-0 run at the 4-minute mark in the first period, but then George Mason applied pressure, forced 3 consecutive turnovers on inbounds plays before getting a jump ball on the 4th one, and they've really just flustered Duquesne from there. The attention for Duquesne will now turn to their matchup against VCU next Wednesday in Henrico, Virginia for the Atlantic 10 Championship. For Game Time Sports, I'm Brendan Flato.